I met a man in 1975 by the name of Father Some Young Moon. He lived to be over 90 years old. He was a father's father, a pastor's pastor, a man's man, to help us to understand things. But one thing he said that I want to cover today, he talked about living for the sake of others. And a lot of people have heard that saying over and over, but let's drill down to what that really means, because I had the opportunity to listen and study this word from a great leader for years. And many times it takes time to process the information. But it has come to mind that living for the sake of others, it means that you're willing to give your life for the sake of having someone else to have life. It's easy to understand that with parents and children. A parent, and the mother especially, she gives away her life for 9 months carrying the child in the womb. And then between the age of 0 and 15, 16 years old, she's going through different stages of educating and loving and feeding and taking care of the child, housing and getting this child clothing and trying to understand how to help this child in every way. And they invest everything. That's pretty clear. Most good parents do that. We can just say that that's clear understanding how to live for the sake of others in those cases. But what do you do with a neighbor or someone else or your friend? How can you live for the sake of others there? Let's invoke this word called love. Now, everybody understands to their degree, to their level of understanding what love is. Love has many, many different forms of understanding and definitions. But let's narrow it down to this one definition where one can love their country so much that they're willing to invest their whole self, mind, body, and soul into this country to help it survive. If it's maybe in danger, or they can keep it from coming into danger by joining what we call the armed forces. They put their life on the line in war, not knowing whether they will come back alive, or they may be missing some limbs or an eye or a hand, but they did it because they love their country. They then live for the sake of others, millions of people that they will never meet. There may be people that may even hate them because of their race, color, or whatever. But they still did it. Went beyond the cause of normal acceptance to the point of extreme where they were willing to give their life. Well, that's what Jesus did, right? Jesus put his life on the line for the sake of others. Because of what? Love. This kind of love that I'm talking about is divine principle love. That's beyond the concept of loving your car, your dog, or cat, or your spouse, or something like this. This normal kind of love. This is abnormal. This is above the average. When you're willing to live for the sake of others. So we cannot just say that easily, or just a simple, living for the sake of others. Like some people I hear say, I'm blessed and highly favored. What does that mean? What does that mean, I'm blessed and highly favored? What is that? But if you say, I love you, and walk away and you have not given anything but words, is that love? Yes, it is a form of love, according to the one who said it. But let's look at the love that we talk about here, living for the sake of others. It takes another level of love that we call divine principle love or divine love. Comes from a higher source of that is a normal understanding of love. What Moon did for us, he helped us. And I was in the ministry, youth pastor, and really working hard to try to learn the love of Jesus and become like Jesus in every way I could in my understanding. So here now, I met this man who was talking about living for the sake of others, and he expressed the value and the importance of love. Love that I longed for, love that I wanted to be a part of. So this concept of living for the sake of others is not an easy task. Trust me, believe me, it is not. It is something that takes a lot. The only example that I can think of is mothers for their children and some person who's willing to give their life in war for a country that they love and people that they've never met. So living for the sake of others is a divine order. It comes from a divine entity. It takes concentration, constant checking. Am I living now correctly? Am I in the order of living for the sake of others? And constantly developing what that means, what it means to be that, living for the sake of others. Thank you. This is Levi. Happy to share something with you again today. I have my favorite hat on that Mrs. Jenkins, Rayco Jenkins, gave me this hat. And I like it. I want to walk in it. Went for a walk in it today. And it's a great hat. It's so nice and warm. I don't want to take it off. I take it off. Put it back on. Love you. God bless.